Hi there. If you're looking for a no-stress way to attract the right associates and to have them up and running, producing between $20,000 and $40,000 a month for your practice, and to do that in as little as 6 months, and at the same time looking after your patients in a way that makes you proud while taking some of the pressure off your shoulders, then you're in the right place. My name is Dr. Noel Lloyd of 5 Star Management, and I've been helping my fellow chiropractors for the past 29 years to grow their practices by attracting, hiring, and training great associates. Because you're here today, I know at least a few things about you. I know you love chiropractic, I know you love being a chiropractor, and I know that you're probably working hard and working long hours, and it's nearly impossible, at least very expensive, for you to take more than just a few days off from the office at a time, because the practice would suffer, maybe even crash. And I know that you're looking for a way to get the help that you need, to get the freedom that you desire, to make the extra money you deserve, and to take your practice to the next level, maybe even expanding into multiple clinics. And the next part is so important. You want to finally start getting your life back after feeling like a prisoner of your own success, being chained to the practice. And you're right. To get a great associate is a way that you can achieve all of that when you know how to avoid the pitfalls and the rookie mistakes many chiropractors make when bringing on a new associate. Because, and this is truly sad, 85% of all associateships end on a sour note. And that can mean, instead of getting the help and the freedom and the profit that you're looking for, your associate can become a drain on you and the practice. Or it could be even worse and create so many problems that they crash the practice, costing you patience and money and sleepless nights. But it doesn't have to be that way. Using my win-win associate development system, you can sidestep all these issues and the trial and error mistakes and just go straight to a process that works, much like Doctors Misty and Brian Morris of Ohio did. They'd already had a negative associate experience, but once they found the win-win associate development system, they moved forward full speed ahead. They got the support they needed to find, interview, and hire the right associate, and then get them up and running. Within just 6 weeks, their new associate had already broken even, was producing his own new patients, and within just a couple short months was turning a profit and on track to make his bonus. And here's the really great part. You know, wait a second. I think it's better to let Brian and Misty tell you this. I was talking with them recently, and here's what they had to say. So, and tell me who you are, please.
Dr. Brian Morris.
And Dr. Misty Morris.
And where do you practice?
About 30 miles east of Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay. And you guys have been 5 Star Management clients for how long now?
About a year now.
About a year? Has it been that long?
Almost, yeah.
Oh, wow. So in your first year with 5 Star, some of the things that you guys have done that you've really enjoyed, that have helped your practice, what have those things been?
We hired an associate,
Uh-huh.
which was huge for our practice.
Now, had you done associates before?
We had.
One other time.
Yes.
Okay. And your previous experience was a good one, a medium one, or a bad one?
Pretty bad.
A bad one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, how is it different using 5 Star Management?
The associate program was just amazing. It covered everything from A to Z as far as procedures, how to make it a win-win relationship, and having those tools and support just made all the difference in the world. Now we can see a clear path on how to have an associate be a great addition to our practice and not something that just adds to our overhead.
And it takes away our profits and things.
So let me ask you this. So you're both in the office, and so Misty, Brian gave a great answer. Is there anything different that you would add for you, or
Well, I thought
additional?
it really walked you through every step of the process, the hiring, the training, the compensation. You know, it even had a contract that we then took to our attorney. So it just dotted all the I's, crossed the T's, you know, and we really felt comfortable with the whole process.
So now he's been with your practice for how many months now?
About 4.
Top 4. And when he first started, he was in a 5-star product that we call the Associate Empowerment Project. And you guys got him all signed up for that. That was an 8-week live webinar course where they got assignments and we did accountability. How did that, and I'd ask you first, Brian, how did that impact your associate?
It gave him assignments, it kept him on track, it made it where he was out in the community booking 2 events a week, which got him on pace and on task, and it made my job very easy as far as the clinic director working with an associate to already have those tools in place for him to know what was expected of him every step of the way.
And now I know that he's in a contract where he gets a base salary.
Right.
And he has an opportunity to hit a bonus. And so now you're nodding, Misty. Is he going to have a chance to hit his bonus pretty quick?
Yeah, this month he will. So next month he'll have made his bonus.
And this is for the clinic directors who are listening to this video. How long did it take him getting his own new patients, rendering care to those patients, and collecting on that care? How long did it take him to break even in your clinic or to pay for himself?
Yeah.
Within the first 4 to 6 weeks, he was.
Yeah.
I want to make sure that everybody understands that. So he's working with you for 4 to 6 weeks, and then getting his own new patients, bringing them in, rendering care on them. He's breaking even at 4 to 6 weeks.
Might even have been a little sooner because we replaced an x-ray tech with his position. So it might even have been a little bit sooner than that.
Well, how does he feel about this? So, I mean, he's asked to do all this external marketing. How does he feel about it?
I think he's reported back to me, he feels like he's in a learning environment where we're supporting him and teaching him, and he gets to see how a successful practice runs, and he's getting paid at the same time, but he's all on our dime. He's able to make some mistakes and it doesn't cost him everything, but he's continuing to grow and learn as he goes along.
So I know also that you guys have been recently, and this was just within the last couple months, you guys were able to take a couple different 1-week
Right.
vacations.
Yeah.
Now, did you do that all the time before your associate?
No, we didn't.
Well, there was disasters every time. Yeah, whenever we would go on vacation, they'd be calling us. We'd be out of the country. I mean, problems and issues.
So how did it go? You've got a
Great.
brand new associate. You put him in charge of the practice. Here's the guy who's making more money for you than he's costing by his own new patient marketing.
Right.
Now he's taking care of the practice. Did that go well?
It went very well.
Very well.
There were no issues.
Yeah, no issues. We came back, everything ran smooth, and patients were happy, and it gave our patients an introduction to him as well. They had already seen him in the practice. His name's on the front door. They were comfortable, familiar with him, and it went so well in June, we decided to take another 1-week vacation in July.
That's great. That's super. Now, how did he feel about that? I mean, you're out of the office and he's taking care of a very, very large, productive, busy practice. How did he feel?
I think he felt very good about being able
Right.
to step up to the task that we had at hand for him, which was filling in for us, and I could tell he wanted to do a very good job for us, and he did.
And I also take a look at that as a stretching experience.
Right.
And so somebody can start to get a bigger vision of what a larger practice is. So now, here we have one associate's been doing really, really well for 4 or 5 months now. Do you have any plans for future associates?
Yes.
Yes, we do.
And so, in fact, when are you going to start to act on that?
We already
We
have.
placed ads for another associate because our current associate is doing so well and growing. We don't want to stifle his growth at all. We want to be able to have somebody in place at the right time when he's growing as well, so that that new associate can come in and help with processing of our new patients. And
Okay, well, that makes a ton of sense. And so now, the old way you did associates wasn't good. The new way you're doing them, you see a future where you could do what if you wanted to? Give me a picture of the next 3 to 5 years for the Morrises.
go ahead.
Well, I think that we could open a satellite clinic for the right doctor that, you know, if that was what they wanted, or they could continue to practice with us. We could expand hours and, you know, over time have several different associates.
Great. Now, I think that having an associate means that you get the help that you need, the freedom that you desire, and the extra income that you deserve. Has the 5-star procedures and all of our associate products, have they helped you do just that?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if somebody else is considering putting their associate in the Associate Empowerment Project, 8-week live accountability, group setting, what would you say to that clinic director?
I would say it's well worth it.
Right.
Do it. And
It's so much more thorough than anything we could have come up with to do. And the pace is very challenging for the associate, and it's more than probably we would have ever
it
expected.
teaches accountability.
Right.
And that was what I took away from it. And it made it where, as the clinic director, it was a very easy transition for me to work with our associate so that he can continue along what he learned in the AEP.
Great. You know, and it's interesting, and I'll just add this little comment. The harder I am on them, the more they like me, and the more they like themselves for the work that they accomplish. And I think that kind of makes sense. But it's hard to do that unless you've done that. But it's nice to have it done for you with an
It is,
associate
yeah.
that's working with you, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much, guys. I
Thank
really
you.
appreciate
All right,
it.
thank you.
And we'll talk to you later.
Okay, thanks.
Now, wasn't that great? Imagine being able to take your own multiple 1-week or even longer vacations from the practice. Because I don't know about you, but many chiropractors I meet have a dirty little secret. The practice is very successful, the patients love them, the money's coming in, everything looks great, but in reality, they're a slave to their practice. They know that if they would take a 2-week vacation, it would be a disaster. They could come back to as much as a $50,000 loss, plus loss of patience and momentum, because the whole practice rests on their shoulders. So instead, you become the master of the 3-day weekend, grabbing little bits of time here or there, never really getting the time off that you want or that you need. That's why I'd like to invite you to the upcoming Win-Win Associate Development Weekend. During the 2 days, you'll learn how to create a personal vision to guide your associate practice, how to attract, interview, and hire sharp, motivated associates, how to put in place win-win contracts that will protect you and your clinic. I'll give you some sample contracts when you come, how to develop associates who become new patient machines right from the get-go, producing between $20,000 and $40,000 within just as little as 6 months, and how to avoid the mistakes that can destroy associates and destroy your entire associate program. Even when to consider satellite offices and how to run multiple offices, plus when, how, and why to sell your practice to your associate if you should ever desire to do so. During this weekend, you'll get a step-by-step system for building the associate practice of your dreams. To reserve a place for you and 2 staff people now, simply click on the button on the page and we'll get you booked in and ready to go. On a personal note, not only do I know the Win-Win Associate Program works for the thousands of chiropractors that I've helped over the years, people like Dr. Eddie Hansen from Bellingham, Washington, who, once he learned how to hire and train the right associates, was able to open up multiple practices and see more than 1,200 patient visits a week. And Dr. Natalie Cordova from Houston, Texas, who used this system to go from a 1-room practice to a $1 million clinic with multiple associates. I also know it works from my own experience. You see, I was put into a situation where I had to find a way to develop my own associates. I had a thriving practice, just great, 420 to 500 plus patient visits a week. When a ski accident in Sun Valley ended badly, I ended up losing 70% of the strength in my right arm. A neurosurgeon and my chiropractor told me my practice days were over. I had previously employed associates, but now I was really motivated to find and launch successful associates out of necessity. My practice and my family's livelihood depended on it. So I threw myself into developing systems and processes that would enable and empower my practice to continue to grow without me actually seeing patients. I'll tell you, it was make it or break it time. And I found a bunch of things that didn't work, literally hundreds, and a few things that did work very well. I honed those things that worked well into what is now my proven win-win associate development system. And even though it took some time and trial and error, I cracked the code on what successful associate relationships are made of. And it was literally like learning the combination to the bank vault. Fast forward 4 years from my accident, and my practice had grown from 500 visits a week to 2,000 visits a week. My one clinic had gone to 5 clinics. And after that, I did another 5 for a total of 10. And I was able to take a full 12 weeks off a year, something I'd never been able to do as the only treating doc chained to the office. All because I discovered a system for developing profitable, happy associates who produced their own new patients and typically saw between 200 and 250 patient visits a week, and who stayed and stayed and stayed. In fact, using my own method, I've successfully worked with over 70 of my own associates, opened 10 profitable offices, and all 10 have already sold for cash to my associates, who I am still on great terms with to this day. The great news for you is the system I've developed is a repeatable, reliable process that you can use successfully even if you've never hired an associate before or if you previously had a disastrous associate experience. To find out more about how you can use this system in your practice to help you get past the just getting by phase, or get out of all debt, or enjoy a higher income so that you can save for a real retirement, or spend more time with the family, or just kick back and relax a little, go ahead and register for the Win-Win Associate Development 2-day weekend seminar. If you act fast, there's an early bird offer, which makes this training for you and 2 staff people a real no-brainer. Plus, when you attend, you'll receive $9,000 in bonuses, including employment contracts, training materials, and even a sample business plan. Having the practice of your dreams can be a reality. I've seen it time and time again when chiropractors learn how to hire and manage great associates. It really is like learning the combination to the bank vault. So go ahead, register here. The Win-Win Associate Development Training is exactly what you need. I look forward to seeing you there. This is Dr. Noel Lloyd for 5 Star Management.